What does it take to be great? If you want to be the best, you must outwork the rest. It goes without saying, the greatest work harder. They train harder. They learn more. They put themselves through more pain, more failures, more no's, more rejections. Whatever it takes. Some of the greatest have talent, but none of that talent would ever be realized as greatness if they didn't put in the work on the other side. Think of all those with little talent that have created magic with effort. Effort will get you whatever you want in life. Your fighting spirit, that heart that you know is inside you. You just have to let it out to keep going when life has you on the canvas. When everything seems to be conspiring to stop you, to hold you back, but to say no, not today. The strength to fight back, the heart to fight through challenges, determination to smash through the unexpected obstacles. If you want more than most, you must work harder than most, work smarter than most, learn more than most. It's not one thing. It's everything. Do you have what it takes?
Good morning. How's everyone this morning? Really? Like that? You got up this morning, you're breathing, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, you got a uniform on, you go to a beautiful school and you're telling me you just, Really? Ask me how I'm doing. I am great. I'm blessed and highly favored, strong and mighty. I belong to a peculiar people, a holy nation. I am part of a royal priesthood. That's who I am. Now, I claim that. It doesn't mean I feel that way this morning. I just ran 32 Ks yesterday for the Colgate race. Legs a bit wobbly. I'm an Opa, so it's a bit harder for me to do 32 Ks than you. But I claim it because I know that my new day is the opportunity. Today, right now. It's my present. It's God's gift to me today. And I'm going to use that present for good. That's why I came to Brandwag this morning, even though I could have slept in, right? So it's very good to be here, and I'm great. I believe you are great too, because God is no respecter of persons. What he did for Moses and for Jonah and for Jesus and even for me, he'll do for you. But you got to be willing to claim it. You got to claim it before you even show up. That's why this whole thing about ducks, you know about ducks, right? Everybody says, I'm just waiting to get my ducks in a row. Right? It's too late. So I want you to get it while you're still young. I want you to get it while you're still here at Brandwag, so that as you graduate, not in grade 12, but as you graduate every single day, you can be better than the day before. Is that all right? That's why in that video, when I asked you, do you have what it takes? The answer is yes. Of course you do. But some of the things you saw my warriors doing were very daunting, wasn't it? Daunting just means very difficult, right? It looks hard. It's hard work to be a success. It's hard work to be at Brandwag. It's a hard work to graduate. But what you got to do is you got to show up. And you got to show up with what you got. So I want to talk to you today about the fact that your disadvantage in life is probably your advantage. And that the fact that you're advantaged, the fact that you didn't sleep on cardboard last night, that you have a roof over your head, that you got tuck money. You got tuck money in your pocket? Right? I know some of you got tuck money in your pocket, right? You got a beautiful uniform. You got everything you need, and that sometimes is your disadvantage. So I want to tell you the story about David versus Goliath. You know that story? You know that story? You know that David was disadvantaged, right? He was the underdog, the unexpected misfit that actually beats Goliath. You know that story, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that David actually wasn't disadvantaged. That's the irony of it. We looked at him as disadvantaged and said it was a miracle from God that David beat Goliath. And sometimes we get it twisted when we talk about miracles because we think about it in terms of hocus pocus. We think about somebody waving a wand, but God doesn't work that way. God helps those who help themselves. You know that faith without works is dead, right? You know that. So that's why you have to show up. So let me tell you a little bit about David and this fight that he had with Goliath. Because the way it worked is, in those times, nobody really wanted to have a huge bloody warfare, just taking out all of the men. Ladies, you were safe because we just put you over in the corner to cook and clean and do all that stuff. You were lucky, right? But us men, young and old, right, we had to go out there to battle. And oftentimes when we went to battle, we didn't come back because it was just a bloody warfare. So to stop that, what they did in those times, they said, well, in order to win, we're just going to put the best against the best. So we just put our best rugby wing or our best wicket keeper, whoever's the best in that category, right? We're going to put them to battle. And to get to the other side, which was the promised land, the Israelites always got promised in the Bible, right? It was constantly the promised land. God's promised this. The Israelites didn't often believe that there was this promised land, but they went along anyway. Okay, well, if you say there's a promised land, I guess I'll go. Is it going to be hard? Is it going to be difficult? Right? That's the Israelites. That's what God talks about in the Bible. And in this case, it was going to be very difficult because to beat the Philistines, who were these tall giants and these massive men, they needed someone to go up against Goliath. And the irony of it is that there were some strong Israelites and there were some young men that could have gone to battle with Goliath, but everybody kind of stepped back when it was time to go to war, except for this one named David, shepherd boy. The lowest rung of society, the unexpected, said, I'll fight the giant. And then King Saul looked around and said, so who's going to fight the giant? Anybody? I told you I'll fight the giant, right? I'm well equipped. I'm ready to go. And with no other choice, Saul said, well, if you're going to fight the giant, then I need to make sure that you're equipped for battle. So I need to get you an armor. I need to get you a sword. I need to get you a shield because I want to give you the best probability to win. And David answered Saul, if he had answered him in today's vernacular, he says, I don't get down like that. I don't wear armor. I don't use a shield. I'm a shepherd boy, right? The way I fight is I take a sling, right? And I shoot at wolves and at lions to protect my flock. That's what I do. He said, well, okay, well, if that's how you get down, then go ahead and get down in that valley and let's see what you got. And it was interesting because as David started to come down into the valley, Goliath was under a tree laying down, relaxed. He's arrogant because he knows he always wins. He's so big. He's 9 feet tall and, he's got full armor. He's got a sword, he's got a shield, he's got everything he needs, right? Fully equipped, fully loaded to win the battle. And as David comes down, the assistant to Goliath, because Goliath needed an assistant. He's so big and he's so strong and his armor weighs so much, he needed an assistant to help him to get to this battle. And he said, Goliath, I think that the Israelites have actually shown up. They've got somebody. So it's time to get up. And as Goliath got up, he looked out over on the hillside as David came down and said, you're going to send a boy to shoot me like a dog and use 2 sticks? Really? Okay, this is going to be easy, right? And David, being the smart shepherd boy that he was, knew that in those times the way you would fight and go into battle was mano a mano. Mano a mano just means you're going to go fisticuffs, right? Toe-to-toe. But David said, I'm not going to go toe-to-toe with this giant. I'm no fool. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to take what I've got. I'm going to show up without any ducks and show up without putting ducks in a row. I'm going to take my sling and take my 5 flat stones, put it into a sling, and I'm going to fling it so that I can kill the giant. Now, it's interesting that we talk about hitting things right between the eyes. That's exactly where David hit Goliath. It's the only place that that he had open to kill him. And when he took out Goliath and he failed, and the Bible says he took the sword and decapitated him, and God's will. He said, so let it be. If that's what you would have me do, God, and that's what I'll do. But what's interesting about the story is that we tell this story over and over and over again about David's disadvantage. That because he was a small shepherd boy, because he was the lowest rung of society, because he wasn't so big and strong, there's no way he could bring down that giant. And yet, I told you, the way David killed wolves and lions, moving targets, was with his sling. You see, you don't have to go to battle like the infantry on the ground, one-on-one, mano-a-mano. You can do it like the Air Force, right? From afar. Some of the most effective fighting in World War II happened in the air. That's how the Americans took out the Germans, right? From the air. Not trying to go mano-a-mano. So David was clever. He said, I'm going to use my disadvantage, so-called, and make it my advantage. Shoot him with a 45 out of my pistol from afar, right? He also made sure that he used his agility to his advantage. And some of you know this because some of you run track and field, or you do a sport where you have to be agile. You're not big and strong. You don't try to run through people. You run around them, right? Right? Isn't that your advantage? That's what David did. David made sure he didn't go toe to toe. He went around and to the side and flinged him from afar. And finally, if you look at Goliath, and if you look at Goliath's disadvantage, he had to have an assistant bring him down from the hillsides on the Philistine side to get down to the valley to fight David. Now, if you're a warrior and if you're a soldier, why would you need somebody to lift you up and pick you up and move you around? It's because Goliath suffered from a macrogyglia, which is it's a giantism disease. That means his knees ached. That means his shoulders ached, right? It also meant that he didn't have very good vision. His vision was horrible. In fact, I told you, he says, who are you to come down here to beat me like a dog with 2 sticks? Who knows a shepherd boy that has 2 sticks? I thought a shepherd boy just carries 1 staff. So not only was he nearsighted, he also was suffering from double vision. And you know giantism because you know it from Andre the Giant in the WWF, right? You remember Andre the Giant? Well, may his soul rest in peace because he died of giantism. That is their disadvantage. To be so big and strong and to be not very agile was their actual disadvantage. So we walk around in life, right, as young people and as older people, and oftentimes we get bullied by the so-called stronger person, but it's a perception, isn't it? It's a perceived advantage that they have. That's why I'm trying to explain to you that you've already got an advantage based on your agility and based on your intelligence and based on your experience. That's your advantage. But your disadvantage sometimes is living comfortably. Your disadvantage is that you got dropped off right at the front door of the school. I pulled up to the same gate you did this morning. I saw it, right? Mommy and daddy pull you out. Have a good day. Love you, right? Be safe, right? Take care of yourself, right? Here's some tuck money. What time would you like me to pick you up? Mommy, make sure you're on time. You have to be here at 2 o'clock. 5 past 2 is too late, Mommy. I need you here at 2 o'clock, right? Or maybe it's 10 past 2, but you need to be there on time. Yes, my baby, I'll make sure that I'm here right on time for you. Right? You see, that can often be your disadvantage. Versus folks that sometimes have to take 4 and 5 taxis to get to their destination. Some don't have uniforms. Some don't have a roof over their head. Some of them sleeping on cardboard. And that's their advantage. Like the asthmatic, right? So any of you who have asthma or any of you who have friends that have asthma, you would think that that would be a disadvantage, especially if they're runners, right? I find it fascinating that asthmatics can actually beat those who have complete ability with their lungs, that they're fully healthy in their lung capacity. They should be able to beat someone that has asthma who doesn't have full lung capacity. But it's because that asthmatic is grateful for what they do have that they win. Same thing with diabetes, right? So those who suffer from managing their sugar levels, whether their pancreas works part-time or sometimes it doesn't work at all, if they have type 1 diabetes, But yet and still, because they know how to manage their sugar levels through insulin and through eating the right foods, they can win bodybuilding competitions, have bigger muscles than the ones who have full ability or a full able pancreas to look after the sugar levels. Fascinating, isn't it? It's called gratitude. So it's okay that mommy kisses you before she drops you off, and you know daddy's there to pick you up and take you to the cricket match and to the rest. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't say there's anything wrong with that, but just understand something, that it can be your disadvantage if you're not grateful. If you don't have the gratitude that the asthmatic has, or that the diabetic has, or that David had to beat Goliath. We go around often concerned about what it looks like, concerned about what it feels like. That's oftentimes why we don't even show up, because it's raining, or because it's cold, or because the math test is just too difficult. You know, we get this unnecessary fear because of what it looks like outside. God is asking us to look at the inside. He's asking you to not worry about what it appears like. God has already taken care of your Goliath, because he's looking at the heart within. You just go to Samuel and you'll find the verse, right? So that's why when I asked you how you doing, I was disappointed. I was very disappointed, because it's like I was talking to a cemetery. Maybe it's because my mic wasn't on, Vernon. Maybe it's because the mic was too low. But when someone asks you how you're doing, especially me, Warrior Rick, who actually cares, I actually care about your well-being, because I care about society. Some don't. Some just accept the fact that South Africa's junk status and we got elections on the 8th of May, and what does it matter, right? Well, it means everything. It means we're going to be voting in a new leadership, and we're going to be looking at our neighbors and our friends and our police departments and our teachers, and we want them to be better, so we want them to be better, then I have to be better. So I'm concerned, I'm interested, I'm curious about your future. That's why I show up. I've seen over 200 schools in the last 3 years all around this country. And it's about time I got to Brandwag. It's about time I got here. But I need you to sit up straight. I need you to put your shoulders back. I need you to recognize that time is short, that in a blink of an eye, you'll graduate. And I'm not talking about grade 12, I'm talking about tomorrow. Your graduation happens tomorrow. So today you got to be the best that you can be. But you got to find the joy within and stop looking at the happiness around you. Stop waiting on your best friend or your mother, your father, or your cousin brother, your teacher, or your headmaster, or some prefect to tell you, oh, I think you're beautiful. I think you're wonderful. Is that what you're waiting for? God has created you in his image. And if God is great, that makes you great by nature. You need to start walking in Brandwag. You got to walk it like you're talking. There's no time to be sitting around waiting for ducks. There are plenty there at Homestead Dam. I run around Homestead Dam. Oh, I see ducks all the time, but they never get in a row. They're never in a row. So what I want you to do is I want you to be changed. I want you to be transformed. That's my work. I have 4 children and 2 grandchildren. And what I ask them every day is I just tell them, be better than the day before. That's all you can do. Small little graduation, little drop on a stone every single day. Your little drop, whatever it is. Maybe it's exercise. Math exercises, physical exercises, spiritual exercises, right? It works. Just put your little drop on that stone every single day. And watch your breakthrough happen right through that rock, and it flows like a river. It's a beautiful thing. Stand on up here, Brandwag. Everybody on their feet. Today is a new day. It's a new opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to be better than the day before. But I need you to walk it like you're talking. So let's talk it so you can know how to walk. You are great because you're made in God's image. That's the only reason. It's not because of anything you've done. It's not your deed. It's by grace and by mercy that you're even alive and that you're breathing. When someone asks you how you're doing, don't go for all right. Don't go for okay, or I could be better, can't complain. You sound like you're in the grave. Right? I'm not so concerned about whether you studied for the math exam, or if you're ready for the rugby tournament, or if you're that ready for your graduation, I just need you to show up every single day with that little drop on the water and that drop on that rock so you can get your breakthrough. When I say be brave, you say warrior. Be brave. Warrior. That's who you are. A warrior is someone who's ready to show up for battle. A warrior is ready to show up for any battle, mental, spiritual, physical, and is not getting bullied because guess what? Like David, you will make the rules. You don't let the bully make the rules, you make the rules. You say, I am a soldier. I'm handsome. I'm pretty. I'm strong. Right? While they call you pimple-faced and fat and dumb, stupid, I don't know what they call you, but you tell them that you're a warrior. That's who you are. When I say warrior, you say be brave. Warrior. Be brave. Just like Joshua. I love the story of Joshua because Moses was dead. Moses was gone. It's like Nelson Mandela, right? He's dead. He's gone. Right? He's on the other side. What do we do now? Oh my gosh. How do I make South Africa better? How do I make my community better? How do I get an A on the math exam? You got to take the baton like Joshua. And when he took the baton, he asked God, he said, what now? He said, be strong and of good courage. Boys, that's not biceps. It's not quadriceps. Ladies, it's not how you wiggle your skirt or bat your eyes. That's not being strong and of good courage. Being strong and of good courage is faith. It's an inside-out thing. It's not an outside-in thing like Facebook and Instagram, like. It's superficial. Love comes from within. Love is the conqueror. So be strong and of good courage. And finally, when you wake up tomorrow morning, just to show yourself that you got this, and to show yourself that you're better than the day before, I want you to make your bed. I said it. Tomorrow morning, I want you to make your bed. Stop letting these third-party suppliers make your bed. I don't know if it's your mama, your daddy, your cousin, brother, your uncle. Maybe it's the helper. Maybe you get the garden service to come in and make your bed. I don't know. But what I do know is your blessing comes from when you are in the trenches. Your blessing comes when you are determined, dedicated, and devoted to you. You can't be dedicated to something you don't believe in. I'm dedicated to Brandwag. I'm dedicated to my teachers. Excuse me? You got to be dedicated to yourself first. That is self-discipline, self-respect, and dignity. Make your bed in the morning. And for those of you who did, I know some of you are like, well, I made my bed. Well, good for you. But tomorrow morning, along with those who didn't make their bed, you're going to make it differently. You're going to make it like a soldier. You're going to take that sheet and you're going to wrap it around each corner of that bed, take a 5-rand coin and pop it on that sheet and let it go through the ceiling. You want to be great? You want to be great like the video says? Do you have what it takes? If you make your bed like that every morning, then that shows that you are grateful. That's the only way to be great, is to be grateful. When I ask you where my soldiers at, I want you to say right here. Where are my soldiers at?
Right here.
Where are my soldiers at?
Right here.
Where are my soldiers at?
Right here.
Give me a 2 clap. Like a soldier now. 2 clap. 2 clap. 2 clap. 2 clap. 5 clap. 5 clap. 5 clap. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. Brandwag, are you ready? I said, Brandwag, are you ready? When I say be brave, you say warrior. Be brave. Be brave. Be brave. When I say warrior, you say be brave. Warrior. 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 Where my soldiers at? God bless you. Have a great day.